Hi everybody, so this is my review on SpongeBob SquarePants, the movie SpongeBob, Search for SpongeBob. Yes, I saw this instead of Avatar, Fire and Ash. It is on my to-do list, but that movie would have been 3 hours long and I would have gone home late, but okay, not important. But anyways, I thought it was a really nice movie. I liked it. I find it funny that it has a better critic score than Avatar Fire and Ash, because like on Rotten Tomatoes, critics liked it more than Avatar the Fire and Ash, but I think that's just funny. I know it doesn't have that great of an audience score, but I just think it's funny that critics like SpongeBob more than Avatar Fire and Ash. I guess if it was the Nickelodeon's Avatar, that might have been better. But anyways, I thought it was an alright movie. I would have preferred it to be hand drawn like the originals. What I find awesome is because I haven't seen a SpongeBob movie since 2004. Yeah, 2004. That was like 21 years ago. Yeah, 21 years ago. I haven't seen a SpongeBob movie. I wanted to see Sponge on the Run or Sponge Out of Water, but I didn't see Sponge Out of Water because I was just moving and Sponge on the Run came out during COVID, so I couldn't really see those movies. But it was really exciting to see a SpongeBob movie after all these years. Now, the animation, I would have preferred to be hand-drawn like the original, because I think this is trying to be like Sponge on the Run, which tries to be a connection to Camp Coral, but there's been a lot of SpongeBob movies, like there was Sandy Cheeks, which I hear a lot of people hated the Sandy Cheeks movie. I think I thought it was alright, but I do understand why people didn't like them. Like Tsunami, there's a scene with her childhood and she's like a head and oh, that's weird. And people didn't like that SpongeBob felt too stupid in that. But I didn't see the Plankton movie yet. That is on my to-do list. But yeah, they keep making these CG animated SpongeBob movies. I feel like they thought that would market more, but people would have still seen it if it was hand-drawn like the original. People would still see it. People aren't just gonna be like, oh, this movie's hand-drawn, I'm not seeing it. Come on, people still love hand-drawn movies. But here's something I do wish, because I saw concept art or sketch art, and some of it was giving me some Mutant Mayhem Ninja Turtle vibes from it. And if they're gonna do CGI, I kind of wish they did it similar to Mutant Mayhem, where it's kind of like a CG hand-drawn look. I just feel like that would be animated better for a SpongeBob movie, but I guess the animation's pretty okay. Now, SpongeBob, I'm not going to try to review this like my episode recaps because that kind of makes the video a bit long and I think it's better to just do a review. But SpongeBob, he wants to go on this roller coaster. There's a scene where he's like, I'm tall now, but he wants to go on a roller coaster and it's like a big, scary, threatening roller coaster and he's too nervous, and there's a story where he's like, I'm too scared, I'm too nervous. And he goes to Mr. Krabs being like, and trying to pretend he's not scared, but he's like, he couldn't do it. And then Mr. Krabs lectured him about being like, I was brave. You may be big, but you're not big in heart. But I'm big because I'm brave. I'm brave. And he's like, I'm a swashbuckler. And SpongeBob was like, I want to be a swashbuckler. But Mr. Krabs was like, you don't have the guts to be a swashbuckler. And SpongeBob was like, oh. So he tries to figure out how to be brave and true. So he goes to this pirate place because he used to be a pirate or a sailor. And he finds this place, but then he finds this horn thing. And it summons the Flying Dutchman. Yeah, so Flying Dutchman's the villain in this movie. Plankton does make a small cameo because he gets squashed, but that's the only scene we see Plankton. I guess it does make sense. We have seen Plankton as the main villain in all the other movies. He was the main villain in the first one. He was the main villain in the second one, kind of. It was Burger Beard, but he was not exactly the main villain in SpongeBob on the Run. That was like a king guy, but yeah, I think Flying Dutchman has been an antagonist in the show, so I think this is a good idea to make him a villain in one of the SpongeBob movies. But SpongeBob summons the Flying Dutchman, and there's a backstory where he's like, only this person can free me, and he tries to go on this spooky adventure, and they go to the underworld, and it's like creatively spooky and silly, and there's a lot of silly moments. Now the characters, SpongeBob, like he's still the lighthearted goofball. He's not too stupid. Like a lot of people criticize that in the modern SpongeBob episodes, they may have made him too stupid. Even Patrick, like there's sometimes in the modern episodes where Patrick gets not only too stupid, but he's almost a selfish, heartless monster that people were like, they should dump Patrick. Yeah, people are saying that in some of the modern episodes that they should, that Patrick and SpongeBob should stop being friends because Patrick's such a jerk, but it's Patrick. That's like saying Mario and Luigi should not talk to each other, or Minnie and Mickey Mouse should separate. SpongeBob and Patrick are like an iconic friendship. You can't separate them. But I do understand with some of the modern episodes. But this one, like, Patrick does act traditionally stupid, and yeah, there are some butt jokes where SpongeBob doing butt jokes and bricks, and it's not too. I was worried that the butt jokes would be too in your face, but no, it's there for a little bit. But yeah, and Mr. Krabs feels bad and he has to go rescue SpongeBob. Like that's why it's called The Search for SpongeBob. So it's Mr. Krabs going with Squidward and Gary, and they're all rescue SpongeBob and Patrick takes along, and he's like the goofy best friend. I feel like Squidward, like he didn't do that much. Like he said some white cracks and some lines, and I guess there's a part where he runs into these sirens and they found a station to get fixed, but out of that, he mainly, there's not much I can think of that really had that much of an impact in the story, because Squidward like is a really great character but here he's always too mopey, and that's another thing in modern SpongeBob. He's just too mopey in later episodes, and the running joke is that they're mean to him because he's too mopey, but I don't know, you need to work more with that. But he is too mopey. I just wish he had more layers, because there are moments in the classic SpongeBob where he really cares for SpongeBob and does really care for his friends and does try to help out and feels responsible. But I just wish they did more with Squidward in this. But there's a funny thing they did at the end, and I'm like, oh no, Squidward. I'm not going to reveal too much, but yeah, there of course is another scene where they go to the surface, similar to Bunch Out of Water, where they do go into the surface world. But this is my non-spoiler review, so I'll do that later. And Mark Hamill voices the Flying Dutchman this time, not... Why do I always keep forgetting names? I should have looked up. I know he's Bill Murray's brother, but yeah, he's him. I don't know why they couldn't bring him back, but I guess because they're doing one thing with the Flying Dutchman later. But Mark Hamill does a good job voicing him. There are some Joker voices I can hear, but yeah, he does a really good job with this version. And he has this crew, like there's this one named Beth or Barb. Yeah, there's this one character named Barb who kind of helps out with the Flying Dutchman, but does help out later, but I won't reveal that. But anyways, I thought it was a really nice movie. I do wish it was hand-drawn. I do wish Squidward or other characters, like, you do see the other citizens of Bikini Bottom just have small roles. Like, they do a joke with Sandy later, but she's not in it that much. Yeah, but anyways, I thought it was a nice movie. I wish it was hand-drawn. I like the show. Or maybe a CG hand-drawn look, kind of like what they did with Mutant Mayhem. But I thought it was still a nice movie. And Patrick was still lovable and nice. He's not the jerkwad Patrick being a jerk in later episodes, but he's nice. He's a funny goofball in this and does help SpongeBob, and they really care about their friendship. Well, anyways, I think that's it for my non-spoiler review. What did you all think? What do you all think of SpongeBob? Do you think he's good? I do understand that, because basically SpongeBob, like, season 1 to season 3 was pretty good, but after that they went downhill. I think it's because Steven Hillenburg stepped down, and during season 4 and so forth, other producers were taking over. But then the show has gotten better. Like, I heard there are some great episodes that a lot of people liked. But what did you think? Do you still like SpongeBob, or have you stopped watching SpongeBob? Yeah, I'm a 30-year-old man watching SpongeBob. And there were some kids in the audience, but I was the only grown man seeing this by myself. Oh, but I had a really great time watching this. You should never feel too old to like what you want to go see. Well, what did you thought of SpongeBob? Did you like it? Comment below, tell me what you think, and see you next time.